Hey, what's up, guys? So we finally got to the end of Halo, and the only good thing I can say that it's over. Because every second watching this ruined everything you know about Halo, from the iconic story and characters, even the little stuff like the sound effects. They just sprinkle in to just like jingle some the keys around us for the plebs. But before I get into it, if you could like, dislike, comment, sub, that would be awesome. So we continue off right after the Covenant spy touches the artifact, and I'm confused what this thing can do because I thought it was just an EMP blast, but there's a lot of like structural damage everywhere, so it's like bomb now or not, because all the people around seem to be fine, other than that one person who's just got turned to ash now or something. But the place looks like a bomb went off in it, so I don't know what to think of that. But anyways, now the Covenant spy just running around the large military base, able to take out everyone in her way, and she was able to find the phantom location from a guard telling her. And man, this was kind of unbelievable. First off, reaches a large military planet here, so there would be like a UNC soldiers everywhere. There's no way she'll be able to take out more than like 10 steps without running into someone, especially a bomb, since a bomb just went off there. And she would have like no idea where the hangar is. Yeah, the guard gave her the location, but it's a huge place. And like, yeah, Chief did give her the grand tour, but I find that hard to believe that she like knows where it is. And the second thing, she just drove away like it was nothing. The thing would have been clamped down with some mag locks or something. There would have been something lock it down, and would have probably taken a few people to like unlock the ship. There's no way that they'd have some enemy ship just able to just fly away like that, especially when they have someone who they know was with the Covenant for a while. Like, and you think she's a spy, but let's just have that. Be able to fly away and like at any moment's notice. So that was like, it was just so fucking stupid. I don't know why they did that. After she gets away, we get the big revelation drop by Keys that everyone knew that Halsey, what Halsey was doing, and at this point, like, no one cares anymore. This show does a terrible job at making us care about anything that happens to these people. I couldn't care less at all. And this is all in the first 10 minutes. Oh yeah, after Halsey realizes that the Spartans failed, she tries to leave with her ship. The pink-haired Spartan girl manages to jump on the ship and gets in, and of course she takes off her helmet right away. Like, how does this make any sense? Like, you're in an enemy ship now in your super suit. Why would you take off the helmet? Like, now you're vulnerable. It's so dumb that they want these shows with super suits and they just can't wait to take them off. There's plenty of IPs out there to take, so why do you take ones with heavily armored characters? Anyways, she gets hit in the head and Halsey manages to escape and the ship crashes, but I guess that's supposed to be some tension, even though like we know they can survive orbit drops. So it was kind of like some shocking event, like, oh, is she gonna live? We know she's fine. So they did orbit drops. I'm sure crashing the ship is nothing. Next they go and get Halsey because she didn't get very far from the escape pod that she got out on, and they want to execute her, but not before Miranda gets one last dig in for whatever reason. I guess she hates her. I don't remember like anything Halsey did to her on the show. Yeah, she was like a little mean and snarky, but I mean that's really nothing, and didn't give her own like research Halsey had. I don't know. I didn't really see anything big that Halsey did to her Miranda to make Miranda hate her so much. But whatever she does, and it turns out that the Halsey is a clone, so it doesn't matter. I don't know like when or how she did that, but whatever. And then we get some monologue towards the end about how the future is going to change now from her, and she gets off the Reach planet, so I'm not sure what they're going to do with her, but you know, we got to make her the bad white lady at the end. I don't really think that's a good villain for the show. I already have the Covenant, so why do we have to make Halsey bad just because? I think it's because it's a lot cheaper in the long run, instead of like animating people or like dressing people up in the Covenant. Probably a lot easier and cheaper. I mean, the show's already $10 million, so they're already sinking so much money into it, and that's my guess, is they're gonna make the enemy humans because it's a lot cheaper for them to do instead of making enemy Covenant. And that's why you honestly you haven't seen much Covenant in the show at all. There's been glimpses here and there because, you know, they have to, but that's one thing I know is there isn't like a whole lot of Covenant. There's a few, but not very much. You had the one in the beginning, there was a little bit in the middle when they take the artifact, and then just at the end now. But there's a lot of runtime where there's no Covenant at all, and this is like before, like they know they exist, so just don't know what the plan is here. Alright though, but we come to the end, and the Master Chief wants to go to the Star System. The spy told him, because we just believe her, because she can't be wrong. But they want to send 100,000 Marines or whatever the number was. But Chief's like, nah, we got it. Okay, that's kind of dumb. We're not going to just rely on you and Silver Team to get the artifact. We know you did a lot, but, you know, why don't you just take the Marines too? You know, yeah, we'll send you guys and we'll send the Marines. Nah, don't send anybody. We got it. That's not a strategy, Chief. Come on. You know, like the more people you have, the better odds, because you don't know where the fuck you're going. So you having a large army behind you guys can only increase your odds. But sure, we now come to the finale of the show, and it was just as disappointing as we could have expected. I'm sure by now most of the people have seen it. I'll give the animators some credit. They did do a good job. The 30 seconds of Chief kicking ass, I mean, it doesn't do much for me, but it did look okay and like impressive. I see the hard work these people put in, and I just want to point that out because I know they put a lot of work into it, but it's just an awful show. The spy, I guess, was struggling with her conscience, and she sees Chief about to be overrun, and I think he was losing against the big brute guy, and she touches the artifact, and that sends everybody back, and she tells Chief that they should run away together or something, but they don't go anywhere. They're still on that planet. You're just, visually seeing that you're on the Halo ring. You don't go anywhere. But Chief rejects her, and then he's like, yeah, nah. And then, the pink-haired Spartan girl shoots her next. She dies, so, thank God she's out of there. And then we get to Chief realizing that they're about to be run again, because Silver Team's mostly down, and he's injured. So he calls on Cortana. He's like, Cortana, you come take over, because you're the best, and I can't do nothing. So he just runs out, gets himself killed, and now we come to literally like the worst part of Halo. I think I've said a bunch of times, like, this is the final nail, but what more can you do than just have Chief kill himself so Cortana can take over? And of course, she can do it all. She takes out the whole Covenant army, gets the artifact, saves Silver Team, and then just scoot away like it was nothing. And now the cycle is complete. We got the Chief killed, Cortana's taken over, and I'm pretty sure, like, a lot of us all predicted that this is where the show was always going to go. There were so many examples of this, and you could tell that, like, no one here in Halo is a Halo fan. I know they all pretend to be. You can see them in their interviews, just like, this shows this and that, and all the planning, but you didn't do any planning. You guys didn't read nothing. You guys didn't play any of the video games. You have no idea why people like Halo. It's not because of the cool space thing. It's because of the compelling characters that Halo's created over, literally, it's been over a decade. It's been like 2 decades now. I think it came out in 2000. And even the creator came out saying that this isn't the Halo he created. So we got a Halo show for no one. Fans hate it. The normals I talk to are iffy about it. And we can only hope that this is the last season of this garbage, because it's hard to watch Chief just being cucked and having his corpse dance around. And I guess is a fitting end for this show. It's kind of what we all expected it to be. We all knew that he was going to die somehow, or he even just basically killed himself. I thought like Cortana was just going to take over at some point, or just like convince him somehow. No, we got even something better. He convinced himself that he wasn't good enough. So even better for us. It just shows that they have no one writing this that cares about Halo at all. It's what we kind of expected from these shows, and I can't tell what's worse. Like back in the old days, it was still, I guess, somewhat resembles what the original people wanted when they made these IPs, like Hitman, like even like Blood Rain and all those old shitty movies from early on tried to make it close, but you could I don't know. I think I would prefer something bad in that way, because at least it's bad, but it's still like, watchable. And at least they tried. I mean, I don't think you'll ever get a good video game adaptation. I think you honestly have to take walking simulators. I don't know why they take all these stuff they can't do. I think walking simulators might be the best bet, because it's a walking sim. And so I don't know why they don't do that. Why don't they do like a walking? No, not a Walking Dead, but like a Stranger Things. Like that would be pretty easy to do. But instead we take these big IPs that they can't do, writers that never grew up on it or could care less about it, and it's just really sad and pathetic what they do to these shows. But it's what they do now. They just wreck everything. They move on. I'm hoping that we only get one more season, because thank God. I don't know how they can afford it, to be honest with you. It's an incredibly expensive show, and they get anyways, thanks for listening.